So what we can do now is we can list out formally what are the axioms of Boolean algebra. And this might be very interesting for those of you who are more mathematically inclined. These are the basic rules which have to be satisfied by any Boolean system. So here are the axioms. A or B is B or A. A and B is equal to B and A. So these two rules say that the Boolean algebra is commutative. Then I can say that if I have three of them, and if I want to do a pairwise operation first, then it doesn't matter which two I take first. So A or B or C together is the same as A or B together and then or C. And same with AND. So this shows that the Boolean algebra is associative. Now let's write down some statements about OR. A or 0 is A. A or 1 is always 1. A or A is always A. And A or A bar is always 1. You can see why this is the case. Generally with OR, whenever one of the two operands is 1, then the final answer is always 1. 0 and not and or 0 or 0 is 0 and 1 or 1 is 1. So that's where the third one comes from. And if you're taking the OR of A and its complement, so one of them is going to be 0 and the other one is going to be 1. So, and 0 or 1 or 1 or 0 is always 1. So these are statements about OR. I can write a statement about NOT, which is that A complement is just A. So this is a statement about the NOT or the complement operation. Now let's write down some statements about the AND operation. So A and 0 is 0. A and 1 is A. A and A is A. And A and A complement is 0. And again, you can try and figure out why these should be the case. A or A complement, then one of them, A and A complement, one of them will be 1, one of them will be 0, and 1 and 0 is always 0. Why is A and A equal to A? Because 0 and 0 is 0, 1 and 1 is 1. So these are the AND statements. Then there is distributivity. A and B or C. By the way, you should get used to calling them and or. Okay, don't call them into and plus or something like that. So A and B or C is A and B or A and C. But also the other way around. A or B and C is A or B and A or C. The second one might seem kind of counterintuitive because it doesn't fit with our normal intuition of what addition and multiplication is like. But that's what I meant. This is not addition and multiplication. This is logical OR and logical AND. So these two show the distributive property of Boolean algebra. And finally, there is A or A and B is A, and A and A or B is also A. This is called these two are called the absorptive property of the Boolean algebra. So these are all the axioms of Boolean algebra. Any system of variables which satisfies these axioms uh, is a valid set of Boolean variables with these operations. Uh, there's an interesting side note, which is that Stephen Wolfram, who is the person who has made Mathematica, uh, has a claim that you actually don't need all of these axioms of Boolean algebra. There is just one axiom that you need, and it is some long and complicated axiom which involves not or and operations. It involves the NAND operation. So there's one long axiom involving NAND, and his claim is that that one axiom actually contains all of these axioms within it. So if you just assume that one axiom, then everything else follows from that. You don't need this entire bunch of many axioms. In addition to these axioms, there are also two laws or theorems, and these are called De Morgan's theorems or laws. Uh, there are two of them. The first one says that A or B, the whole complement, is A complement and B complement. Or if I want to write these down using those circuit diagrams, then A and B complement is equal to A complement and B complement, and then oh sorry, this should be an OR. So A or B, then the whole thing complement is A complement, B complement, and then you put these through an AND. So this is the first of De Morgan's laws. The second of De Morgan's laws says A and B, the whole complement, is A complement or B complement. Or if I have to draw it using these logic gates, then A and B, the whole complement, is the same as you take A complement, you take B complement, and then you OR them. So this is the second one. If you want to prove them, again, the best way to do it would be to actually construct the truth table. So you construct the truth table for the left hand side, A plus B complement, and then you construct the truth table for the right hand side, A complement and B complement, and you compare them. It will turn out both of them will give you the exact same truth table. Same way you can do it for this one also, and that's how you can prove De Morgan's laws. Again, over here, one interesting historical fact is that De Morgan's father was actually working with the British East India Company. So De Morgan was born in Madurai. Just some historical fact for you. You can also try to think of these two laws intuitively, what they mean. So if, for example, if I take the first one, so what you're saying is not A or B. So let's take an example. Suppose I say A stands for I went to school. And B stands for you went to school. So the statements of I went to school or you went to school, and the negation of that, the not of that, would be neither I went to school nor you went to school. And that is exactly what is on the right hand side. I didn't go to school and you didn't go to school. So intuitively also, in a logical sense, you can see why De Morgan's laws hold. So this was for the first law. Similarly, you can also find an example for yourself for the second of these laws. So that's De Morgan's laws for you. And they're actually very important when we simplify logical circuits. And we'll see some examples of that eventually in a bit. Okay, now the next thing I want to discuss with you is basic building blocks. Now, out of all of these gates that we have studied so far, two of them are kind of special, and these are the NAND and the NOR. And the reason for them being special is that you can build all the other logic gates using only one of them. So you can just take NAND and you can build all the gates using NAND, or you can take NOR and you can build all of the other gates using NOR. So let's see how. Let's take, so for example, the NOT gate, I can, so if I take A and if I pass A to both the inputs of the NAND gate, then you will see that the output of the NAND gate, so in general, output of NAND gate is always A and B, the whole complement. But now A and B are both same. So this is A and A, the whole complement. But A and A is A, as we have seen in the axioms of Boolean algebra. So this is A complement. So we have passed an input of A and we got an output of A. So therefore, the NAND gate can be used as a NOT gate in this manner. In fact, there is a shorthand notation for writing this. If both the inputs are the same, then you can just write it like this. So if there's only one input over here, it means there are actually two, but both of them have the same value A. How can you construct an AND gate using only NAND? Well, in this manner. So let's say A and B, you pass them through a NAND, and then you pass both of these through another NAND. So what happens here at this intermediate stage, this is A and B whole complement, and now this is just a NOT gate, as we have seen before. So that just does A and B not. So that is A and B. So that's how you use a NAND gate. You use two NAND gates to make an AND gate. What if I want to make an OR gate using NANDs? Then I will make it like this. So because this bit is a NOT gate, this is a complement, this lower one is also a NOT gate, so this B also gets complemented, and now over here this is, if you want to do the NAND of A complement and B complement, that is A complement and B complement complement. Now we can use De Morgan's theorem, which says that x dot y complement is x complement or y complement. So this is A complement complement or B complement complement, which is A or B. So that's how you create an OR gate out of NANDs. And now, of course, if you know how to create, if you know how to make a NOT and an OR, then you know how to make NOR. You know how to make XOR. So now you can use your NAND gates to make any logical gate that you might want. Similarly, I said NOR is also a basic building block. How do we use the NOR gate? So suppose I want to build a NOT using NOR. So once again, now, so what we can do now is we can list. So output over here is A and A complement, but we know that A or A is just A, so this is A complement. So this acts as a NOT gate. And once again, as before, we use a shorthand notation. If both the inputs are the same, then we will just draw one of them, and that implies that this is going to be a both the inputs are the same over here. Okay, how should I construct an OR gate using only NORs? So here is one, and now here is the other. So let's see what happens in the intermediate point over here. This is just the output of the NOR gate. So this is A or B complement. And now this part acts as a NOT. So this is A or B complement complement, which is A or B. So that's your OR made out of NORs. And finally, if I want to make an AND gate, here's A, here's B, then I'm going to pass both of these outputs through another NOR. So once again, the first NOR over here is just a NOT. So this gives you A complement. This one is also a NOT, so it gives you B complement. And then over here, this is A complement or B complement complement. Once again, I will use De Morgan's theorem, but now the other one, which says that X or Y complement is X complement and Y complement. So this is going to be A complement complement and B complement complement, which is A and B. So this is how you make an AND gate out of NORs.